All right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be kind of an extension of my other video that I did where I talked about being 54 and having no friends. Now that video unexpectedly has blown up out there on YouTube, and I think that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because more eyes are getting on that video, and I'm getting lots of comments, which I've actually gone through and responded to a bunch of them. I've read every single one of them that I possibly can, and I've written down a bunch of ideas for today's video from your comments, and for that I'm so grateful. So what do I mean by bad? Well, that just tells me that there's more people out there, and it's not just in this country where I reside, which is the United States. There's people all over the country and world that are struggling with not having any friends. Now, some people have a really hard time with that. Other people do not. They like it that way. I prefer it that way. I could totally go out and put myself out there and try to make some friends. I have acquaintances, of course. I mean, who doesn't, right? I have an acquaintance at my dental office. I talk to the ladies when I go in for my twice a year dental cleanings. Those are my acquaintances, not friends of mine. I don't confide in them. I don't hang out with them. We don't socialize, things like that. But I just want to kind of do another video to talk about some of my ideas, to get you some ideas. And these are also ideas from other people that have been commenting on these videos. The outpouring of people sharing their stories is heartbreaking for some, and heartwarming for others, because some people are really struggling and they've had some very difficult things happen to them in their life, and it's changed their circumstances, and now they find themselves alone. And it's, of course, not easy. Now, do I prefer to be alone? 99% of the time, yes, I do. That's just me. I am one of those people that I don't consider myself an introvert, because I am very sociable and I can go out into any environment and I can chat with anyone. I don't have to know them. I can just strike up a conversation. So I don't think that quite makes me an introvert. And I used to be very social, and I used to do a lot of things in the town I used to live in. There was lots of things that were going on. There was a ladies group that met up. I believe it was every other Thursday, and we'd go out for dinner at different restaurants. And that was pretty cool. I did make some friends that way. And of course, those friendships fell through because they turned out to be people that were petty, people that drank too much, people that smoked weed. And of course, I don't fit into any of those categories because I don't do those things. And they excluded me for it. And of course, I don't think that's fair, but life isn't fair. So you move on. And besides the fact that I don't want to have those kinds of negative relationships in my life as it is. So what else did we have? Oh, we had, there was paint night. There was a wonderful downtown area. Now, mind you, this isn't a town of only like 10,000 people, but it wasn't a touristy area. So the downtown area was very nice. There was always things going on. We had a theater where they were putting on shows and performances, musicals, different things like that. There was some really good animal rescue organizations, so you could volunteer there. They were also holding fundraisers, which I was always a big part of. So that, for being a small town, there was an awful lot of stuff going on. And when I decided to move from that area, which was Western North Carolina, over here to Missouri, now I'm outside of a little town of about 5,000 people. And we just don't have that kind of stuff. The downtown, there is absolutely nothing going on. There's really no women's social groups. There's no groups. What I am going to check into, though, is the library. And I'm going to check into the senior center, because the senior center seems to have the most action around here. And it's not just for seniors. I guess it's for anybody. So they do lots of different social activities and things like that. So I'm going to check into that. If not to make friends, okay, because I'm totally okay with not having friends. It would be just for me to get out and do more things and to try more things, right? Things I might not be doing right now. So let's get down to this list. Again, all you viewers out there that have watched my video and have subscribed to my channel, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that this means the world to me. This was not my intention, and somebody, a couple of people commented that I was brave for sharing the fact that I'm 54 and have no friends. That has nothing to do, in my opinion, with being brave. I just want to have these conversations because there's nobody around here to talk to about this. So I'm using YouTube to get this out there. And it doesn't mean I want my private life out there for the whole damn world to see. This is not Instagram. This is not whatever the hell it's called, TikTok or whatever it is. This is not Facebook. I'm not ever going to post about what the hell I ate for dinner last night and stuff like that, because nobody cares about that crap, right? I don't want to see it either. This is what I'm going to try and do here, is build this community for people. And if you're 35 and you're part of this, that's great. If you're 88 and you're part of this, that's great. It just seems to be a lot of us Gen Xers kind of fall into this era. We're kind of the forgotten decade. A lot of people have kind of skipped right over us, and I see this all over the place. And we had some great times back then, didn't we? In the 70s and 80s were fantastic. And I'm old school. I've got a lot of people that have commented on my 54 No Friends video that are old school as well. And everybody just do what works best for you. And if you find that you're depressed and you can't deal with these things, then you might need to go and seek help for that. Some people are okay with it. I'm okay with it. I like my own company, and I'm totally fine with that. And there's a lot of us out there that feel the same way. So I wrote down a list of things, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of these. And if you have more ideas, please share them in the comments below, because even though we might be, in the United States, in Switzerland, in Australia, people are looking through these comments. It's not just me. So if you have good ideas to share about things that people can do to get out and be more active, or just do things, or something they might not have even thought of, like, hey, oh my God, I might want to try that. That might be really cool. Just put it out there, okay? Because that's what this is all about. So one of the main ones I got, of course, was joining a church. Now, some people said do a non-denominational, and other people just said, church. Now, I have had good experiences and bad experiences in the church realm since my childhood. Now, if I was going to start going to a church these days, it would definitely be a non-denominational one. And some people have good luck with that. Some people do not. It's something I have not felt like I wanted to go and check out yet. Maybe I will later on this year. Okay, so church. Meetup groups. Now, there was plenty of meetup groups. It's that online thing, meetup.com, I believe. There was lots of that stuff where I used to live. That's one of the first things I went to when I moved here 2 years ago. And there was not one, and I'm not even kidding, not one single meetup group in this area. Again, I'm in a very rural area. The closest big city to me is Jefferson City. That's an hour away. Okay. So I might start some meetup groups through there and see what happens. Number 3 is a lot of people brought up like sewing and knitting and crocheting. Now that can also include quilting. Now my fabulous gypsy Aunt Sherry, I just call her a gypsy because she's a free spirit like me. She's married. She's got 4 grown kids and grandkids, but she loves to travel. She's been a big quilter for pretty much all of her adult life, and she always gets involved in that, and she finds women's groups and they do the quilting and things like that. So that's another really, really good idea if you're into that kind of stuff, that kind of the crafting kind of things, right? DIY, right? If you like to upcycle things and go thrifting and then make things from that, or turn around and sell those things, if you're in an area that you could do those sorts of DIY projects, that's great. I've done a lot of them here for my house when I remodeled my house just to save money. Where I used to live, I used to turn around and sell those things because there was a really good market for it. For here, there's not a market for it that much. But again, DIY stuff, right? Painting. Now that can be painting furniture. It can be painting, doing watercolor painting, or here's what I do. And I get these on Amazon. Now, I'm not saying you have to go and do this. I think you can get some of these maybe at Michael's. You could probably get these at Hobby Lobby. I think I've seen them there. The ones on Amazon seem to be a little bit more complex and not meant for a 10-year-old. But you do what you want to do. I suck at acrylic painting. I'm just not good at it. I'm pretty good at watercolors, so I do dabble in that as well. But this is just one of those paint by number kits. You can see I'm about halfway through it here. And sometimes I won't touch this for 2 weeks, and then I'll just get a little, cray cray, and I'll work on it consistently for like a week straight. So I just buy one, and I usually do 2 of these a year just for fun. It is very relaxing. I put on some nice music when I do these, have a cup of coffee or some tea or whatever I want to, drink, water, whatever. And I just work on this paint by number thing. So these are fun. But again, I'm not saying go out and spend money on doing stuff like this. If you have the funds and you want to do that, then that's entirely up to you. Okay. So there's the painting part of it. Gardening, of course, if you like to garden. Now, I do like to garden, but of course I'm in Missouri and it's really hot right now, so I do not like to spend time outside in the garden because I don't do well with humidity. But in the cooler months, yes, I do like to be out tooling around in the garden and doing things. So whether you like to plant a garden for just flowers or you like to have vegetables because you eat that stuff, you like that produce, whatever, gardening is another good way to get the blood pumping, get the juices flowing, and of course spend time out in nature, which is fantastic. Volunteering. Now, where I used to live, I volunteered at the local animal shelter and spent a lot of time doing that, a lot of time. Did I ever make a friend from doing that? Actually, I did not. I had a lot of acquaintances, but I was so busy on the weekends and I was helping head up adoption events and things like that, it wouldn't have mattered if I had a friend or not, right? Because I was part of that whole group of people that were doing all of that stuff at the same time. And I got to spend time with a ton of different animals, which was like, I don't know, I couldn't ask for a better thing because I absolutely love animals. I have 2 cats, as most of you know by now. So that's great. Again, we don't really have that around here. I think we've got 1 animal shelter, and I don't know what they have for a volunteer situation. I haven't checked into it yet because it's in the next town over. So it's like 17 miles from my house. So again, have to check into that. The retirement community, you might have a good retirement community in your area where you have that retirement center for people, right? And maybe there's some volunteer opportunities there. Again, that's something I'm going to check out this year. Also, you might be able to volunteer at the library. I don't know what the library does these days with that sort of stuff. However, in the past, I've always liked going to the library and hanging out and things like that. So maybe my library has a book club. Maybe yours does. Again, something I'm going to check out. So that would be my next number, which would be 7, which is the library. Start something, anything, right? I had some really good comments out on my other video where some of the women talked about, starting your own group. So, for example, start a women's night out every other week where people get together and meet at either somebody else's house or at a restaurant in town, depending on where you live. If you're in a bigger area, it's a little bit easier. If you're all in town, me, I'm out in the country. I'm not that far from town, but I'm still rural. So going to somebody else's house might be a little bit more difficult. Maybe you do it through a local restaurant or something like that. Or maybe even do it online. So I've been brainstorming ideas of how I can do stuff online where a bunch of us can get together online, kind of like a Zoom thing, but cooler, and just hang out and chit chat and talk about anything under the sun, right? Reading, if you like to read. Now there's people out there that don't like to read. I get that. People like to read on their Kindle. That's great too, or Audible, listen to books. It's all stuff for your brain, right? I like to actually read physical books. So what am I reading right now? Oh, you guessed it, another Agatha Christie. This one is Mrs. McGinty's Dead. Yes, I've seen the show from the BritBox or Acorn or whatever it is, but I've seen it from years back, and I do watch them every once in a while because I absolutely love David Suchet. He played Hercule Poirot. the best, in my opinion, even better than Peter Ustinov. But again, personal preference. But I love Agatha Christie books. So this one is my current one that I am reading. What did I just finish from her? Elephants Can Remember. And then the other one that I'm reading is the Secrets of the Castleton Manor Library. And there's probably 24 of these out there right now. And this one is called the Grim Reader. And these are brand new. Can you see that? Brand new books. I got them at a thrift store for like 50 cents a piece. So you just got to look around, right? Because I typically will not pay full price for a book. I like all of my stuff thrifted. And then, of course, I do like to read poetry. And I've got tons of different poetry books all over the place and different authors. And this is kind of the one I'm diving into right now, which is, of course, what? Walden, right? So this is Walden and Other Writings. This is, of course, Henry David Thoreau. So if you're into poetry, again, I got this at a thrift store for like $1, you guys. This is a big, beautiful book. And it's kind of cool just to read one a day because it just kind of opens up your mind. It makes you think, and you get some reading in, right? Keeps the mind active. That's the most important part. Now, something else that I do like to do is crosswords. You can do puzzles. You can, like my uncle, he does Sudoku. I've never really gotten into that. It's probably because I don't know how to do it. I have to learn. But I do like to do these words for search things. And my thing with these, to keep my brain energized, is I try to see how fast I can solve one of these puzzles. And I'm very good with these. But a lot of people like to do just regular crosswords, whatever, just puzzles. And I get these at the dollar store. So those are super affordable. Going to the gym, I have a gym membership. I use it. I go to the gym 3 times a week, and then I do home exercise videos here when I'm not at the gym, or I dance because I listen to my records. So exercising, getting out and walking. If you're a big walker, I used to walk where I used to live because it was a lot nicer weather. Here it's great, except for right now it's too hot for me, and I can't. It just makes me sick if I go out there and start walking for any amount of time. The humidity makes me physically not feel well. So I just deal with it and do stuff indoors. But going to the gym, going for walks, gardening, anything that's going to constitute exercise. Exercise is what keeps our bodies young. You don't have to go to the gym and lift weights like I do. It's just something that I prefer to do. Okay. Puzzles, crosswords, right? Anything like that to get your mind engaged. Playing solitaire, any kind of solitary card games, or card games with people you know. Maybe start a card club. Somebody had an idea with that. That's a great idea. Start a cards night if you can, because usually people our age or older like all the old school games, right? What do I have here? Yahtzee, I have Monopoly, I have Super Scrabble. I do have chips to play poker, and I have some cards. So that's, fun. I used to play those with a couple of people I used to hang around with where I used to live in North Carolina. Here I haven't found anybody yet that likes to do that. And I have Clue over here in my other bookshelf. So board games. So maybe a board game night or whatever. What else? Records, listening to music. Now, I have a nicer stereo system. It's a Fluence RT81, I believe, turntable with a pair of Klipsch speakers. So that setup probably cost me $500. I didn't have a record player. You don't have to spend that much money on something to listen to your records on. If you like to listen to records, you can get like a Crossley or something like that. And those are fantastic as well. And I have a very wide range of music I like to listen to. I'm really into music from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, any of the big band, any of the swing. 60s, not so much. I love the 70s. And of course, I love the 80s and classical music and opera as well. So I have a lot of records here. Not one of them is brand new, you guys. Everything I have has been purchased from either the thrift store or the vintage store or the antique or an actual used record store, because there is one up in Jefferson City that I do go to every once in a while. So I'm just going to show you a couple of these, just give you some ideas. So here's a really good one. This is Tommy Dorsey. I love Tommy Dorsey. So I think I paid $0.25 for this at the thrift store. And I always pull them out of their sleeves, you guys, to make sure that the records are not scratched or anything like that. And then I have the special lint-free inserts that I clean them and then I put them inside of that because I want to make sure that they do last. So if they're well taken care of and they're for a really good price, I'm going to buy them. And yes, I do listen to them. One of my other favorite ones is this one here. It's Ray Anthony Plays for Star Dancing. And this is like waltzes. And I actually dance around the house to this. Now, some people might laugh at me. I don't care. This is just what I like to do. Makes me feel good. Here's another one. This is Mozart. So I got like 4 of these, and these are all literally brand spanking new. They've got a nice plastic sleeve on them. When I pulled them out, I mean, they've never been touched, right? So I got these for like $1 at my local Salvation Army. So I just go looking around and finding things. Now, this is going to, speak of my 80s era, you guys. Christopher Cross, love Christopher Cross, Ride Like the Wind, one of my favorite songs with one of the most amazing, done by Christopher Cross himself, guitar solos that you can't quite hear in that song. I don't know why they did that when they produced that song, but this right here, excellent album, probably paid like $4 for it. Here's another one, because I'm an 80s girl. I do like my more metal, heavy music. This is a band called Jafria. Some of you might know who they are and might like them. Absolutely love them. I've got the Bee Gees. I have the soundtrack from Miami Vice album. I've got Honeymoon Suite. I've got Fastway. I've got all sorts of, and I've got lots of other disco things. Here's Billy Ocean. A lot of you are going to know who that is. Caribbean Queen, right? Love Billy Ocean. And then, of course, now this is actually one of the most sought after albums, believe it or not, you guys. And they're not that hard to find. I literally paid $8 for it. The price is still here. Got it at an antique shop. But it's Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Love Fleetwood Mac. I also do love Stevie Nicks as well. So that'll kind of give you an idea of my musical tastes. Now, this is just my personal musical taste. I'm not saying you have to do that. But I just have so much fun spinning my records, right? What else here? Oh, road trips, right? So if you're able to and you like to do that, right, take a road trip. And it doesn't matter. Just go down some country road you've never been down before. If you're afraid to do that or you don't know where the hell you're going because you're in a new area, do what I did and buy a map. Right? Buy the state map and go look at the roads. So if I'm looking for new roads to go cruising down on my motorcycle and I'm not sure where the road goes or does it turn to gravel, what I will do is I will take my car. And then I just go on these road trips, and sometimes I'll go for an hour, and sometimes I'll go for 3-4 hours, and sometimes I'll go way out, like 75 miles away from my house, out in the back areas here where I'm not near any big cities. And I end up hitting in, a small town, and they've got like the coolest little shops or something like that, or maybe a cool coffee shop, stop in for, a coffee and chat with some people, whatever. So that's just something I like to do. I love to go exploring. And me going on a road trip by myself, if I'm not on the bike and I'm in my car, I love it because I just crank the tunes, roll down the window, and I just cruise. Okay. Nature, of course, getting out in nature. Lots of people talk about that too. So hopefully you're in an area where you can do so. Again, for me personally, it's a little too hot for me right here in Missouri right now. But as soon as that weather starts to cool off a little bit, I'll be back out walking down my county line road here and soaking in more of Mother Nature. And then, of course, dancing. I love to dance. I used to dance all the time when I was younger. I just do it in my living room now. We don't really have any places around here to go dance. There's no clubs. There's no bars where you go dancing. I think there's one about 22 miles away from here. I think it's a country bar. That would be super cool to do. But again, it's a little far for me just to go at night, right? That's just my thing. But I digress. So there you go. That's just some ideas about what a person can do to kind of expand their horizons, and if you're looking for things to do. And this all stems from my video of not having any friends at being 54. So if you're feeling like you have nothing to do, use some of these ideas, and please go take a look at some of the comments in that other video, and let's chat more about that in this video too. Please give me some more ideas. What do you have that you do for fun, things that I maybe did not get on this list, and let's just keep the conversations going with all of this. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I truly appreciate this. Please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe to my channel for more weekly content on very little fashion, lots of things, home, lifestyle. There will be some more DIYs coming up in the fall season here. I've got some projects that I've been mulling over in my mind, things that I want to work on as well. So unscripted, loads of fun. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.